How are you doing?
Good.
I think you guys have a very great two guest speakers which cover most of everything already. And I don't see anything left for me to add to you today. So the whole thing here, so I think I want to make our time here together worth it because you all spend time this evening from your family, from traffic to be here, or you think it's better to be in traffic right now? Not good, right? So it's good to be here, right? Okay, so let me see a little. How many of you here are new people, like you're here for the first time? Please. Okay, so I'm going to be spending the rest of the time here, 25, 30 minutes, talking to you. Okay, so I think that the part that Jero did is already amazing in terms of he put it together for market trend, right? What else? Business model, and then the opportunity. I think that makes sense. And if you are, of course, you live here in Malaysia, right? I think you see the opportunity here because I've been here many times too, and I realized that yes, this is the fattest country in Asia. I believe that. But I think Thailand also very fat and very chubby nowadays too, right? So anyway, Amway business has been around for a long time, especially in Malaysia. I think more than 40 years, right? Yes. Should be something like that, right? And in Thailand, over 30 something years. I went to school for, what do I look like? What do you think is my major study back in college? What do you think? What do I look like? Chef? I was in university doing my financial degree, and I worked at investment banker for American company back in Bangkok in early 2000s. So my whole goal and my whole life in the beginning was crafted in order to be doing something with financial industries. And that was my goal before. And of course, along came Amway business. So make the whole long story short, I'm in Amway for 15 years now. That's pretty short, right? But the whole thing I like to share to you today is the whole point of our life, right? I think today you see the narrative that the people actually know what they want in their life. Do you think people know that?
Yes.
The answer is probably no. People think they know what they want, but they don't know exactly what they want. You see what I mean, right? So I think that is the most important part of today. I think the whole thing in life nowadays, everywhere you look around, in Malaysia, in Thailand, in US, anywhere, everybody's selling something nowadays. Do you see something? Do you get to feel that? You turn everywhere. Everybody's selling something. So now one person doesn't have only one job anymore. And people don't even believe in working 9 to 5 anymore. Back then, it was only a few group of people who think like that. But nowadays, if you go to college and ask a lot of kids in college right now in Malaysia, how many of them want to graduate and then work for somebody else? Everybody have their own big shot ideas too. They have like the next big thing. Everyone have the next big thing. Agree?
Yes.
And then of course, then everybody put that into the market. And then the market make the judgment. And then everybody come back to the same old thing again. The opportunity is so much out there, right? Nowadays. Right?
Yes.
But everybody also have the same tools. Back then, few people have, tools to get to where they want to go. But nowadays, everybody have access to the same tools. So a lot of opportunities also comes with a lot of competition and a way to find out uniqueness. So the whole point here, I'm not going to be talking about the business anymore. I think we did that already, but I want to focus on what is our life all about. And I think that by this presentation, I want to give you that ideas. So, how many of you here heard of Amway business before? Before you heard about Amway business. I think many of us heard about it. But do we actually know what it is? For me, right, I never know anything about Amway business. I only read about Amway business from a book. So I have no sponsor, someone who asked me to come to meetings like this. I have to go online and search on Google in 2002, 2003 and search what is Amway and try to find out what network marketing is and did my own research. And I called the Amway company, asked them to sign up. That's what happened with me. And later on, I found out that there are actually two types of people building Amway business. The people who sell Amway products and try to build a business, and the people who actually build a business that sell products. So I think that this is a two set of thinking. And I think you can see clearly here today that we are not here just to sell the products, but I think we put a lot of time and effort in explaining how we build a system that sell the products that people use, and we build a network from that. Okay, so I let that part of the details for you and your friends, but this part is going to focus on what you're gonna get out of this business. Of course, you're gonna get income, you're gonna get financial success, or whatever you want to get, active, passive, you are gonna get that. But the whole thing is all about the effort as well, right? Yes. Every business you need to put the effort, but the effort that we put in, will it last? I think that is the whole point, right? I think from my experience, 15 years, it talks a lot about the quality of life. But here, in your group here in Malaysia, you have Mr. P.W. Chu and Amy, who's been in the business much longer than me. And they build their whole life and family through this business. So this is only one example that I want to share with you. I bring out 3 trips that I think is very important. Most of the pictures you're going to see here, there's no text at all, so you don't have to read anything. It's very easy to digest. Okay? But I think everybody loves traveling, right?
Yes.
And in traveling for this generation, no matter where you live in different countries, we are made by the same mold. Do you know what I mean by that? We are bombarded by the same media. We grew up in different countries, but we think similarly. No matter people from Thailand or people from Colombia or people from Germany, at this generation, we want freedom. That's number one. We want a lot of money, and we don't want to work. True? Or we want to work the least and enjoy the most, right? And we try to find ways, to find tools, so that we can have that kind of life. I tell you what, Amway is one of those opportunities that you can build a life that you want. These are trips in Amway. Amway business, right? Encourage you. I think what Mamie spoke is very clear and very touching, and all aspect of life. But traveling part is the most important part in terms of human expression of freedom, because we want to be able to enjoy the world we live in, right? And think about this: how many people back in Malaysia 200 years ago can travel Asia? Not even cannot get out of the Malaysian peninsula 200 years ago. But nowadays anybody can just fly anywhere because we have AirAsia. Because of AirAsia from Malaysia, now everybody can fly, right?
Yes.
But the whole point is not just to fly and come back to work. You get what I mean, right? To be anywhere, as long as you want, and to live life. And I think this is what I want to talk about, because anybody can travel nowadays. Not only, you don't have to do Amway business just to travel, but to live a life in Amway business is more than just travel. So I pick and try to find the elements for you people here to see the difference and the uniqueness of the lifestyle you're gonna get. So I picked this one. I will go quickly, okay, on this part. This is the trip that Amway organized for us in Thailand to go to North Pole. Of course, everybody want to go to North Pole. Funny thing is, no, not everybody. Because I thought everybody wants to go there, but no. At least one of them, my wife doesn't want to go there. But of course, anyway, we go, right? But the whole thing, I wanted to give you the idea. This was in Finland, and we took us out to the ocean, the frozen ocean. My auntie also went to Finland for traveling like that, right? But of course, anybody can go. But the whole experience that Amway prepared, and they asked us what we want to be doing in North Pole. What do you want to be doing? Of course, we're going to do something with ice, right? So they take us into the frozen ocean, the Arctic, and lease a Russian ice cracking boat, not a boat, ship, and crack the ice open for us to see. And ask us, do you want to go see deeper? Then give us the sub-zero suit and put us in there and throw us into the water. Live it. We are from tropical country. This is what we want. But I think this is one aspect of traveling. Because traveling nowadays is not just about getting to that country and then you check that in on Facebook, right? It's a whole experience. And can you believe you can do all this for free? And not only with you, but your friends who build a business with you. And nowadays, young people who are building Amway business, we help Amway shape how we want to travel. And I think this is a big new idea that you're going to get to see in Malaysia as well. We will design our own traveling that we want in Amway business, because Amway just give us the opportunity to do all this. Learning how to ice fishing. I think that is a beautiful thing, simple thing that you never do. But can you believe it? I don't have Monday morning and Friday night since when I was 22. I started this business when I was 21, turning 22. And now I'm almost 40, 3 more years. And I've been building this business and living the life like this. So, the Northern Lights, I think this is one of the important experiences in life. Before I asked my dad, this kind of lifestyle, who in Thailand, back then, or even in Malaysia, can have a chance to do this? You got to be super rich. And also you must have time, because the Northern Lights doesn't wait for you. You wait for them. You have to go there every 7 days to make sure you're going to get to see the Northern Lights. So anyway, so this kind of opportunity is it's not just a traveling experience. Another trip, I make it very quick. Another one, I picked four trips, okay, that I think will give you some idea. If you see that life is about freedom and you want to travel, this is it. This is the business for you. This is one of the beautiful trips in Morocco. How many of you been to Morocco or even heard of the country named Morocco? It's a very cool country. The hotel that I choose for us is the Four Seasons Hotel in Marrakech, and they even prepare you. Normally when you go to travel in countries like this, do you think you have to buy the local costume and play that cosplay with your wife? Normally you don't do that, right? I think that's kind of weird. But the way they do it is just so fun. And anybody can go to Morocco, right? But the way that they go to Morocco with the balloon, with film sets, riding on a, what do you call this thing? How do you call this? Chariots? I don't know. Horse riding? I don't know. But it's like a fairy tale, right? And they do this parade, and all these people, we are Thai people, right? But local people, they don't even think we are Thai, they think we are Chinese. So anyway, it's like a parade of the town, and take us to the palace, the Solomon Palace in Morocco, and have a gala dinner. And private flight to the Sahara Desert. The whole plane is Amway plane, like this. This is how Amway treated you, because normally when I send my parents travel, because I always take my parents travel, but later on they don't want us to take them there anyway, because they want to go with their friends too. You see, when you are able to afford your parents to travel, there will be, there will be chances that they will request, okay, you go with your friends. They will go with their friends too. They have friends too. And then when we send them there, right? Of course, even you pay for a very good quality trip. Sometimes they don't fly you to the next destination. They use local transport like bus. You get what I mean, right? To get to some other location. But when you travel with Amway, to save the time, there's no flight. For example, like from here to Klang. Do you need a flight to go there? You can drive there, right? But Amway want to save time, of course. Then they have to find a flight, but there's no such flight, right? From KL to Klang. So they rented the whole plane to take us there. So this is so cool. And when you get there, you don't have to go on the bus. They have a private chauffeur, and you and your wife and a picnic with all the food you have to prepare. And did you go to the Sahara? And once you get to the Sahara, oh, something wrong. I pressed something wrong. Can you replace it? Can you please play it for me? I did something wrong with the remote. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. There you go. Okay, so when you get there, right? Another costume again. And then even photographer. I don't know, ladies, you love photographer?
Yes.
And every time you go travel, you have your private professional photographer. You think it's a good deal?
Yes.
And it is something that Amway offer for us nowadays. You don't even have to take good pictures. There's someone following you to take pictures. And this is a town on the border of Morocco and Algeria. That's another trip in Africa. Another one I want to share with you is this amazing place. This one is in Zambia, also in Africa. This hotel. So funny. And this hotel, right, we go there, so far away. Zambia, you don't just fly from Bangkok to Zambia. You have to go to South Africa and it takes some time. And then when you get there, right, and this hotel is super cool because you have giraffe and zebra and these friendly animals, but not so friendly anyway, running around in the hotel. And you play them, but you cannot feed them, of course. But at night when you sleep, you will see this zebra coming and knocking on your windows and trying to play with you. And so cool. I think it's a very beautiful, pleasant experience. And there are things like this out there. And a private safari in Botswana, crossing the river to Nigeria, seeing real elephants, the elephant migration.
Wow.
I never thought in my life before that I need to see elephant migration. I don't know that that's a thing for that. But when you get to see animal migration, you see how the mom and the dad take shower for the baby elephants. You don't get to see that. You only see that in Animal Planet, right? So the whole thing I'm trying to bring this out is to bring the youth in you, the childhood in you. How many of you, like me, when you were young, when you're watching like National Geographic or Animal Planet, and you see that, damn, I want to go there, and then you don't know how to get there, and you don't know when. That is the first strike of my dream. I think that was like when I was in junior high school. I said to myself, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in my life, but the thing that I do must enable me to go anywhere I want to go, that instant that I want to go. But what kind of business can give you that, right? You need the time, and of course, all the other resources to do that. Walk the cheetah. Who would have thought of that? When they ask us, and we will send you, what do you want to do there? And you don't have to pay for anything. And if you don't want to do that, it's also fine for you too. Okay, but they say walk the cheetah. I didn't actually think it's like literally walk the cheetah. 40 minutes walking the cheetah. So now I speak cheetah. I know how to deal with Pumbaa. I never know this thing exists. I thought it's only like a Lion King. But when you actually go to see there, you see real life. And I've been to like 4-5 safaris in Africa. Now, if you know me, right? Next time you go to Africa, you don't have to hire anybody. I can drive on safari by myself. The whole thing is beautiful, and the gala dinner. And we have beautiful celebration every trip we go. And each year, you can go to 2 trips a year if you want. You want to go 3 trips a year? Up to you. But this is the life. I always ask my group back in Thailand, when you see this kind of pictures on Facebook of your friends, what kind of job do you think they do? Most of the time you think it must be like oil tycoon, or doing some kind of business, or a family business, something like that. Nobody would have thought this is Amway lifestyle. So this is part of it, and this is so beautiful. This is in South Africa, and over there is Mozambique, which is another country, and it's very beautiful. So I finished the African trip here. The next one is, of course, New Zealand is very easy peasy, right? But the whole thing is, I noticed that people in Malaysia spend a lot of time in Australia and New Zealand, right? Yes. Seems like every time I go to New Zealand or Australia, the first thing I see is Malaysian people. Not even kangaroos. But anyway, it's a beautiful trip. I love flying. I love helicopter. But when I traveled with my family when I was young, do you think your dad will let you fly on a helicopter solo? And spoil you with that? You don't even ask, right? Because you think it's something like, okay, maybe in the future. In every business, do you know that I ride on a personal helicopter the first time when I was in Emerald, when I was 24, 25, in Alaska. And after that, every trip, when you become successful in the Amway business, every trip that have helicopter, you're gonna get that. And this is a very beautiful trip in New Zealand. And you look at my wife, you will see her. She's somewhere. But anyway, we met in Amway business. You don't know that, right? When people sign up in Amway, how much you pay here for sign up in Malaysia?
90 ringgit.
90 ringgit? Similar to Thailand. Thailand is like 900 baht. They never say that you're gonna meet your soulmate. I don't even think I'm gonna get married with an Amway lady. But anyway, she's My wife, she's a software engineer. She worked for Hewlett Packard in Singapore, and she hates her job. How much she hates, let her tell you. But anyway, I met her in Amway Business and built a business together in Amway. This is not a trip. This one is Monaco, Monte Carlo. Have you heard of Monte Carlo?
Yes.
Monte Carlo is very well known in Thailand because the royal family there and royal family in Thailand are very close. So we heard about Monte Carlo since we were young. And we know it's very expensive, right? And they have like Grand Prix, the Formula One, things like that. But you know, hotel in Monte Carlo is the most expensive in the world. When people go to Monaco or Monte Carlo, people always stay in France and then do the day trip in Monte Carlo. And then at night go back to sleep in France. This is a diamond trip that I organized in Monte Carlo. This hotel is the Hermitage. If you heard of the hotel where they filmed 007. And the room that Amway prepared for us is 100,000 Thai baht a night. That's 10,000 ringgit a night. Okay, think about this. I will never pay that in my life. Even you can afford it, you won't do that, right? 10,000 ringgit. You can use it for something else better, right? Or even you can donate. But Amway Business have this unique quality and partnership. I do the business if my wife don't do the business. Whenever we qualify for the trip, wife also go, husband also go. Always two, not one. Even your husband don't do the business, or your wife doesn't care about the business, but you both are husband and wife, and they pay double to take care of the whole family. How many companies in the world you see that? Every company try to save costs, right? They talk more, but whenever they're gonna give, they give less. Amway don't even talk about that, but when they give you what you deserve. And that is why when you see in Amway document, they say something like family, hope, freedom, and reward. If you see that, they really mean it. And the reason why Amway take care of the whole family and husband and wife, because of the word family in terms of commitment. So, this is the rooms, not that big too. You know, 100,000, right? A night, you can stay in the whole floor in Brunei. The whole floor at the Sultan Place somewhere. But in Monaco, you get like a normal hotel room, and that's $100,000 a night, and stay there for 5 days.
Wow.
Insane. And overlooking, look at the view. That is the palace of Princess Sophia. And this is my beer. And beautiful, and this is a gala dinner at Amway France. And it's beautiful, and we know that, you know, during that particular time, a lot of Thai leaders, Amway leaders in Thailand, they love sports car, right? And they say, okay, a lot of young people want sports car and they want to know which brand they want, so they decided to hold a test drive for all the supercars, and you pick whatever brand you want. You want to drive yourself or someone drive for you, and do that in the French Riviera. This is not just a trip. And I wouldn't have thought, but of course, now I know. Now you know. This is Amway Business. Look at me back then. So that was like 13 kilos more. So, before Amway Business, I've been traveling to other countries besides Thailand. I think around 4 countries with my family. The US, Hong Kong, and some other places in Asia. After Amway Business, with Amway trips, more than 40 trips. Some other personal trip and countries visited during the past 15 years is around 70 countries or more. You think, how many of you love traveling? Traveling is a very important part of your life. Seeing the world is a very important part of your life. So this is it. This is the business, because you get to travel more than pilot. Because pilot fly the same route over and over again and don't even get to travel. But here you can go anywhere. So that's finished for the trip. But the most important part is not the trip, it's how they treated you in this trip. When I was young, I remember I saved up my money, and then I used to live in Pennsylvania, in the northeast of the United States. I decided I want to take a trip to New York, and I want to save up enough to pay for the hotels in Manhattan. And hotels in Manhattan is very expensive. People who go to New York, if you've been to New York, they always stay in Queens or Brooklyn or some other place, not Manhattan, because it's so expensive, right? I said to myself, I have to be in Manhattan. So I save up and find a deal at YMCA. Share bathroom. It's like a hostel. And I was a kid, right? And I was a Catholic, so they allowed me to stay. $35. $35 a night. That's cheap, right? We try to save so much. Did you get what I mean, right? Because we just want to get there. And we don't want to spend so much on hotel. We just want to spend so much on food. That's some other thing, right? But the Amway, this is a trip in Germany, the Kempinski. And when you are executive diamond and above, the room that you get in each trip is executive suite, not normal hotel rooms. And sometimes you don't even need that because me and my wife are small people. And we are very little. And why we need so much space, right? But this one at the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel. And we also own a hotel in Michigan. Not only one, in fact 3 hotels in Michigan. So this is a Amway Hotel. That one, the big building. Another one also Amway Hotel too, but it's called JW Marriott Grand Rapids. Cruise, when we travel on the cruise, already expensive, right? But if you are EDC and above, and we take care of you in executive suite no matter where you are. So that means you don't have to pay for that kind of life. And think about how much people have to spend to live a life like this. And in Amway, you spend 0 because you built this business. And many people ask, why Amway give you so much like this? The real answer is that because the thing that we do, we've been through things that people don't been through, right? In this business, you connect with people, you explain to people, just something like this. You guys come here, sit, and then you look, okay, this Thai guy coming to tell me about Amway business. People have to always communicate, right? And this is our job. And the whole thing is one idea. Okay, let me rephrase the word. If you want something that you never have, you have to do something that you have never done. You think so?
Yes.
And that is the same thing that Amway think, because we have done something that people don't do. So that's why we deserve something that people normally don't have. So I think this is a very beautiful logic behind. And it's not only in Amway. In fact, it's a life model. It applies to everything in life. If you want something that you never have, you gotta do something that you've never done. So this one is a hotel in Moscow. You look at the hotel that Amway prepare. And this one in Switzerland. This is hotel room, not a lobby. But it looks like a lobby, right? And this is in there, and the bedroom is in there, the bathroom is in there. And each trip, you go there, and we know that sometimes you don't want to spend money. They force you to spend money too. So each trip, they give you cash for you to spend and put that into the city card. And if you don't spend it all up, you can bring it back and spend anywhere around the world. But you cannot take it into cash. You have to use it. How many people you know in your life that force you to spend money? Seriously, you cannot find this kind of card out there because you cannot apply for it. It's only earned. So everywhere you go, you have this kind of thing nowadays. And if you like food, and you can understand why before I was so shabby, because so much of the good food, and when we get excited, we eat a little bit too much. So, another part is transportation. When we travel, when I was a kid, I know there are economy class, there are business class, and there are also first class. But we never even bother thinking about business class or first class, right? It's nothing to do with us. We just get a ticket. Being on the plane and getting there is already a big thing. You don't even think about business or first class, right? So Amway sometimes will spoil you because Amway, when you're a diamond, you already get business class. And when you're an EDC and above, they take care of you in first class. So I think this is a very interesting thing for people nowadays because you don't have to spend money for that luxury. And when you see all this luxury, you look at me, you think I'm very luxurious? I don't know, because you don't know me yet, right? But I tell you, I don't care much. But all the luxury you see is the thing that Amway provide because of the honor, the things that you do. So I think you have to think about all this again in this business. This is the trip that we take with Amway along the way when we go each trip. You not only go to nice places, but every time you go, it's business class and it's fully paid. Cool? Yes. Cool? Yes. So in private companies, At what level they're gonna give you in Malaysia? Let me ask you. In Malaysia, at what level when you work in a company and they give you business class? Like you have to be CEO?
Many.
Or it doesn't have to? Maybe, right? But I don't know. But back in Thailand, right? In a big corporation, only the top 2 tiers of the company, the CEO and the vice presidents, get business class. The rest still stick to economy. That's how they save money because shareholders don't want you to spend so much money on something like this, right? But in Amway business, there's no shareholder. It's the private companies. The global business, the private companies. So this is a business class trip. And remember this, I became diamond in Amway when I was 26. And that was like 10 years ago. So it's been like this since 26. And each trip, so many, and some of them are even out of the, I would say wild. When I was 30, one of my dreams is I love airplanes, racing when I was young, but mostly when I was young, I love military planes. But I wouldn't even dream of flying on B-52 bomber or F-17. I wasn't there enough to think like that. But private jet was easier to think about that, right? So this is so amazing. And not only, this is a trip that I celebrate my 30th birthday. That was like 7 years ago with my wife. This is when we became EDC. This is a first class trip from Bangkok to Los Angeles. And you know, this ticket to Los Angeles, you can buy a car. For 2 persons, you can buy 1 car for first class ticket. When I was walking on that and I see how much Amway paid for this, I feel very guilty. You know why I feel very guilty? When you are sitting on a seat like that and you know that you just spend the money equivalent to 1 brand new car, you feel sad a little bit because you want to exchange that into car or you want to exchange that into cash. But Amway said, no, you cannot do that. Why? You deserve it. That's it. That's how we do it. I want to talk to you more about a lot of things, but they already put me here in this part to tell you how worth it is to build this business. So let me continue. This is another first class, and always like this, all over again and again. And every time you get to the airport, most of the time, when I was young, back then there was no Grab, there's no Uber. You hop on the local transportation like MRT, right? $2 whole day, like that. Like a 1-2 day pass, something like that. But when you're EDC and above, and that is a lot of people are doing, a lot of young people like you are already becoming super successful in Amway around the world. So what I'm telling you is, Amway have a private car and chauffeur driving you. This guy, I remember this one, it was in Frankfurt. And the guy that come and take care of us for the whole trip in Germany, I asked him what he's an employee of Amway? No, he's an outsourced company, but he's a professional chauffeur. I said, what does he do normally? He said on weekdays, he drive for Louis Vuitton CEO. And then we hired the same company taking care of us each time when we go traveling aboard or become guest speaker for Amway. And this is one in Orlando, many places, many beautiful, this one is in Thailand. And even Amway own jets. You know, Amway have 12 private jets, the corporate jets that owned by the Amway company. And why they need to have so many jets? Because Amway business is around the world. And these jets is when Amway used to take care of top 8 leaders around the world as well when it comes to important meetings. And another part of the business, you don't do it by yourself. You build it together with your friends. You build it together with your leaders that believe in you and build a business. And when you travel together. And this is our friends, the group. In the beginning, I never know any of them. Only some of my friends that I sponsor them into the business. But there's so many trips you get to do. This one is a picture we took on a cruise in Scandinavia cruise, somewhere in Norway. And this is my downline, not me. You know what they're doing there? Can you guess? That's right, Counter-Strike. It was Counter-Strike. And of course they also have Dota too. But these are kids. When they were in high school, they started the business when they were in college. One of them is Diamond. That guy over there, that is the upline of Maimi. You see the Maimi, the girl? And this Jenny, right? I don't know, is it you? Okay. You play games too? But anyway, they can get to do all the things that our parents and people think is childish. Why do you pay kids? Gotta work hard. You gotta get good grades. You get that idea? And you feel guilty when you play video games. Please tell your parents now, video games is our generation's sports. We're gonna play that until we die. No matter what happens. Agree? We're gonna be playing because it's a new kind of entertainment for this generation, right? But you can do that for life. You don't have to act old and become adult. Don't buy in to those authority and those conditioning of the social expectation. Whenever you have your own tools, you can choose your own life, and this thing can happen to you too. So these are friends in Russia and in Hungary. This is a trip to Siberia in Russia. These are the leaders. They are building the business. And this one in Turkey. This one, the one that she mentioned in France. Not only one person go, we go all together. I show you this picture. It's a spatial event. You know this guy? I just heard. This guy, David Beckham, and his wife Victoria surprised the anniversary of the wedding just a few months ago. You know what he surprised Victoria with? Closing down the whole Versailles just for the two of them to walk around and appreciate the arts and history of the Versailles. You don't have to be David Beckham, and you don't have to be Victoria, but you can also have this kind of exclusive. If any of you been to the Versailles, you will know that this hall is always packed with people. Yes. And this picture is very hard to take. And that's a picture of David Beckham. What I'm telling you is what? There's nothing to do with Beckham. But I'm telling you that this opportunity right here put you in a space where you can exercise your wildest dream. And I think that is one big statement already besides just making money or building a life and building a career or business. This is my first car that I used to build a business. You don't even know what brand it is. Because this car has been crashed like 2 times and sold to a third-hand car, not second-hand car, third-hand car. And they rebuilt the whole front using some Chinese materials. So it was supposed to be Toyota, but I don't think they can find that logo. So they used something from China, I don't know. But that's my first car. We need a car to build a business. When I was like 22, I became platinum in the business. This is my first brand new car. And I love this car the most. Up until now, Toyota Vios is still my number one. Do you have Toyota Vios here? You call by the same name Vios, right? How many of you drive Vios? Be proud. I built my whole life in that thing. With me and my wife in that car. And I don't know. You know when you drive a lousy old car, you feel insecure. Even back then you did cassette, right? Back then you still have cassette and CD-ROM. That car have a cassette. I don't have a CD-ROM. So my goal to have a new car is because I want to play the CD in my car, so that I can listen to the Amway CDs and things like that. But anyway, later on when we became Emerald, life gets better. So it's our first better car, better than the Vios, which is a Camry. And we built a business with that, and then later on, 10 years ago, I tell you this is a Mercedes CLS. You have the same model here? Yes. It's a nice car? Yes. You know what? When I was young, a lot of things happened when I was young because the dream started when you were young. I was in Bangkok, in a neighborhood, rich people, and I remember I was on a taxi. How many of you have this kind of experience? And I was in a taxi, right, like a kid in high school, and you see like a very beautiful Mercedes car, and look at that. Damn, very beautiful. Like you cannot deny it, it's beautiful, right? So how much is it, right? So I remember it's around 5, 6, 7, 8 million Thai baht. Then I went on my calculator. How many of you done that? And then calculate how much money you need to save to be able to afford this kind of car. And I don't even finish my trip on my taxi. I already realized, damn, probably 30 years with salary, I still cannot buy this kind of car. And I still remember life become a little bit hopeless. But thank God I didn't believe that. I feel like, okay, there must be some other way, which I don't know yet. And then I forget about the car. Because I don't know why I have to dream about car. I just have to work hard. You know when I buy my first luxury European car, I didn't even know that I can afford it. I went into the showroom. I picked the cheapest Mercedes, which is a C-Class or E-Class, something like that, because I thought I can afford that, because I never know the price. And then I asked them, okay, this one. My downline went with me and said, Bobby, why don't you get this one? I said, Bobby, that one too expensive. Because I thought this kind of car too expensive. And then they tell me the price, and I asked my wife, hey, this car, hey, we can afford it. So we buy that car. I didn't know the price. The moral of this story is to tell you that don't worry about affordability. Work hard until you don't know how you can afford. You don't know that you can afford. So I think working hard with the right tools make you accessible to any kind of dreams that you have, as long as you have the tools. And when we built a business in America, we built every business in America in 2009, and life started getting better. And many things in life happens. I never thought. And this is a car that I bought for my wife for her birthday this year. And the thing is, she loves sport cars. She drives super fast. I drive like 70 kilometers an hour. She drives like 170. But what I'm telling you is this. I don't know how you feel me or not. When I was building this business 21, 22, I was a kid, right? Back then, there was a very smart PDA, the telephone called Atom O2. Do you remember? Like a PDA. These kids, you don't know what PDA is. Before smartphone, this is like something cool. And it's just a phone. I have to use a mortgage to buy. You know what I mean, right? I have to do installments just to buy a phone, to build a business. Because I don't have much money, but I have to save, right? And I never thought that one day I'll buy a Porsche cash. But just to tell you a story that this funny, weird-looking business that people don't know what it is, and the thing is the direct selling, and the people don't even know what direct selling is anyway. But they just think like it's not cool. It doesn't look good. I don't even care about what cool doesn't go. I don't even care what about looking cool or not looking cool. The whole idea is whatever you are doing and you become successful in that, no matter what it is cool. So, this is the most important part before I finish today. I know time is running out, but I will finish this part. Thank you. It's the time that we have. So since 2013, I decided to do something with my life, to explore something that I always wanted to do. And that is the whole point of doing every business. You want to do whatever you want to do. And most of the time, you want to do some silly stuff. Things that doesn't make money. Right? And that's the most fulfilling thing, is to be able to do things that you don't have to make money with it. So I always know that I can paint, but nobody knows. And nobody supported me. But I know that one day I will paint. So I decided to start painting and then living my life. You know, this was the place where we stay in California. And I paint, I have a glass of wine and sometimes beers or sometimes both. And then 3 hours, warp into the abyss. And I come out with a picture. And then I finish, go back, sleep. Read some book, sleep, wake up, and then cook, and then draw again. So I have like probably in my collection around 60 of this. And some not professional, some, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to sell it anyway. Maybe it's not for auction. And then, how many of you have like your love for music? And you always know there's something inside you. You have that Mozart in you. But you want to express that, but you don't know where. Whenever you become successful in your life, you don't have to trade your hobby for business. Hobby is hobby. Hobby is love. Hobby is life. Keep doing that. You don't have to trade it. So I think ability to have the freedom and express it is very important. So I went all the way with the music. Chef, and this guy, you know Anthony Bourdain? This is the best friend of Anthony Bourdain. And he opened a studio in Orange County. And then we learned how to cook things, a lot of things. And I can cook a lot of cuisine. This Moroccan, Chinese, Japanese, all kind. Excuse me. This is not from a restaurant, okay? I made this. I made this. I'm so proud, even more proud than my success in Amway. I made all this, it's so cool, and I feel, damn, now I can make it. Have you ever like read a Japanese cartoon when you were young and there was, I don't remember the name, but there's like a competition, like making food, like the cartoon? I had that dream since I was like elementary, and now I realize it. And you see, all these things doesn't make money. I love beer. And when you love beer so much, you gotta make it. And then I learned how to brew beer, and I brew very amazing beer. And I always know that I can sculpt, and I want to make ceramics. So I learned how to make ceramics. So now, if something happened on Earth, like apocalypse, I can survive. I can make my own pot, I can make my own ceramics, I can paint, I can cook, right? And then I can also do a lot of things. And another thing is, seriously, this is true. I told my wife that if something happens and we have to be in the wild, back then people have the ability to ride a horse. But nowadays we don't. If something happens, we gotta be prepared. So we have to learn the basic how to ride a horse. So we do that. I skip a lot of science classes, but I love science. I want to learn more something about biology. And I have all the time in the world to learn about the fungi. How many of you know a lot about fungi? I know a lot about fungi. I know a lot about microbes. I know a lot about your guts. Because that's my interest. But I don't want to be a doctor. And I don't want to trade my hobby. And I spend all the time. So I don't know. How many of you love learning? I know there's a lot of things to learn. But when you were young, right, you learn so much. You see a lot of people learn so much, but they never actually start anything. Start something, make life complete. Then you live your life. And you don't need to worry about complete or incomplete again. I love how to fly, so I went to learn how to fly. I tell you this, I can fly a plane. But, don't take it back, but I cannot take off and I cannot do landing yet. Seriously. I have to continue my certificate program, but in the US, I can finish my civil aircraft pilot certificate. If you love concert, and you look at me, do you know I'm a Taylor Swift fan? No, it's my wife, but of course. Beautiful concert, front row seat. Do you like, I don't know, how many of you have this dream? Countdown in Times Square? New York. I don't know, but not my dream. That's why my wife went alone. Just kidding. But anyway, you see all these pictures. I just want to give you the inspiration that this is your future. And you can realize all this through the Amway business. My wife, she's an engineer, and then later on she became flight attendant for Japan Airlines, and she hates the job. But deep inside her, she's a sport person. She wants to become like sport, like a fitness guru, things like that. So she went to study for her personal fitness program in California too. And then she shaped her body. We start building F90 after we putting all this passion together. And can you do this in any other things? You get to live your life. You get to be active. And by being active and live a good healthy lifestyle, you make business out of it. How many of you can get to do that, right? I think this is beauty in the business. Then I started doing things that I never done before, like hiking, surfing, not me, my wife. This is in Hawaii. Fishing. I don't actually go fish. Do you know, I went there with another crown ambassador from Japan. And this crown ambassador from Japan taught me one thing. We went out to the sea together. He built Amway business. He's a musician, drummer. Working for Yamaha. You know Yamaha?
Yes.
In Hiroshima. And one day he heard about Amway business. He doesn't want to do it because he don't like business. He's like a musician type, don't like business. But after he understands how within something like this, he said, okay, this is the life he wants. Show me what Amway is all about. He built Amway business for 7 years and stopped. And leave Japan, leaving Japan and live in Hawaii. Buy a house, buy a yacht, and put a drum, how you call it, the whole drum set, into the yacht. And then every night take out into the sea and then do super drum alone. Crazy, very crazy people. But I went there and he took me out to the fishing and he taught me that there's a big difference between catching fish and fishing. Let's go learn how to fish. So he took me out 10 hours into the sea of Hawaii. and don't do anything at all. And after come back, no fish. And he said, this is called fishing. If you go there and try to catch fish, go to the market. And you go back and it's very happy. I really love the Japanese way of Zen. It's super cool. But a lot of things, this skydiving, you know, this AC Milan, if you're like soccer fan, I'm not a soccer fan, but Amway Nutrilite is a sponsor of AC Milan. So there's a special match for ABOs. And this NPA, and this is my wife taking her sister sailing. This is her dad before he passed away. And all the time in the whole family, you can get from where? Because everybody have work, right? But when things like this happen in your life, they don't ask you that are you ready or not. But Amway Business gives you the opportunity to make everything ready in 3 to 4 to 5 years. And I believe that if you do that and you learn how to do it, you'll be able to not only having a safety net, but you have a great wall of China protecting your family. Not only a safety net. And we get to spend time with my family. My brother is also in Amway Business, and my other brothers is not in Amway Business. One is in the UK, is my parents. And life is so beautiful. And just only 3 years that I remember that I worked so hard in Amway. The rest, not that I didn't work hard, but the momentum takes on. The hardest part is the first 3 years. And everything in life, the first 3 years is the hardest. Agree?
Yes.
But many things you've been through is the hardest for the first 3 years and then not finished. And then you have to work hard for another 3 years and new other things again. So, these are friends that we have all over the world. Russia, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, China. These are leaders from different countries. This is in the US, this is in Brazil, Russia, and this is a picture of our second geo, the ground zero that we have in Thailand. The whole thing started from this group of people. And we built a business aboard. This is in Vietnam, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Germany, this one in Belgium. Do you remember this? Malaysia. Without Amway, how are we going to meet? Because if we are doing some other business, it requires the first thing is money. And we have to check if everybody have enough money to be partners. The Amway business, the reason why people ask, why every time we go to some meeting, it's always turn out to be Amway? You people have this kind of question. Because it's the only thing that doesn't ask you for money. That's why we can be together. If we ask for money first, many of us might not be even be here together. But this is the business where we can start from ground zero together. You see, East Spring, I trained the Koreans about East Springs. And they trained me how to sing. Just kidding. But same thing all over again. This one in also in Korea. And this last picture of the slide. These are the leaders that we build the business together. Finish the slide part. You can clap. So, let me finish the whole thing. I try to run through all the slides so that we don't get much time to see each other every month or every year. So I think all those pictures, there's nothing to do with me. I think the whole thing is about you. That what I feel grateful the most is when I join the business, what I learned before I joined. It's not about what I learned after I joined. What you're gonna learn after you join and build business is easy. But the most important part is the people who give me the ideas of how worth it to build this business. Because I will never do this business if I never know that I'm gonna get this. And you think this is a surprise to me? Do you think it's a surprise to me? I know all of this, that this will happen if I choose Amway Business since I was 21, 22. But I just don't know when. I know that this is going to be my life. And this is the way that I want to live my life. And do you want to do that? Do you want to do that? Yes. Live free. And then you don't have to worry about any expectation again. You create expectation for people, a positive expectation. But the world cannot put anything on you anymore. So the last part I want to share. is this. Are you ready? Do you think we are smart as human? This kind of question, people don't know what to answer, right? Are we smart or are we not, right? You know, think about this. A dog, right? If you give a dog any kind of food, just only one sniff, the dogs know whether to eat or not to eat, right? Think about us. Bobby, can I eat this KFC? Am I supposed to eat pizza? This is good for me. We still don't know what to eat. Do you agree? But dog only one sniff, he knows that is going to be good or bad, right? And you think between dog and man, who is more intelligent? Us, right? Intelligence will never give you the ability to choose. And we've been trained and educated that way. The more intelligent we have, the more knowledge we have, we can choose better. No. The only thing that required for choosing the right tools in life, because in life you only need to choose something right once or twice, that's it. Even if you mess up all your life, once or twice, that's enough. Agree?
Yes.
So the ability to choose comes from the ability to look within, to know exactly what you want. Not everybody here in this room will start Amway business. And the whole point is not about starting the Amway business. The whole point is, at least today we get to be really connect with yourself and ask yourself, what the heck do you want out of your life? And then have the courage to make that happen. We are only here to offer you the tools. And we cannot change and we cannot look within you. You have to do that part. And whenever you do that part, you're responsible for yourself. No matter it's going to be Amway, it's going to be N-way, or it's going to be K-way, it doesn't matter. The whole thing is you first. And then we are here to offer you the tools and help you reach the goal. Thank you very much.